think I'll give this to my mom because she doesn't do the internet. So,
Hey, everybody, we are live at Grand Forks Best Source. Time for your Home of Economy podcast. You heard him talking about his mom.
Yeah.
Wade Pearson from Home of Economy is here today. And how are you, Wade?
hey, I'm doing good.
Good. It's been a while since you've been in the studio.
Yeah.
And I know that, and this is one of the things we always say when we are live at Home of Economy. There's always something fun going on at Home of Economy. And I mean, just for example, I happened to be driving by yesterday and I saw a bunch of people out in the parking lot for your farmer's market. But so many things that you guys have got going on and that have been happening over the summer so far. But we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But how has your summer been going for you?
For me, it's pretty good. We only had one wedding this summer, nieces that we had to go to. And
Yep.
so aside from that, we're getting in our lake time. So,
And you go to Cass.
Yep.
And nice to get away and relax, isn't it?
yep.
You going again this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think through Labor Day now every weekend.
Yeah. Do you guys you close her down at Labor Day? Is that your official end of summer? It seems like a lot of people do that, but to me, sometimes that seems a little early.
Sometimes the September is great, but I'm a year-round guy, and I'll go up there. We were talking about my mom and the hockey schedule, and I do my lake time around in the winter around the hockey schedule.
Oh, sure.
So I go to the games if they're in town. If they're not, I usually go to the lake and watch them on the TV or the internet from there. So
So you always got your Fighting Hawks hockey.
no. That's a dirty word.
Okay, how about Fighting Sioux?
Yep, that's for
There
me.
we go. Man, I tell you what, just some of the things I know of that's been happening at Home of Economy, the Fair Food Extravaganza. Boy, you talk about a warm one that day.
Oh, there's been some tough days there. So, but the vendors were happy with it. It was good. So it was. I think it would have been better. They thought it would be better without it, being normal temperatures.
Right.
But
Right. And I felt bad for Paul because he was on a camping trip and he came back for it and he forgot shorts. So he was wearing black sweatpants all day on that asphalt. And the only other bad thing was we forgot to bring chairs. We brought everything, all our equipment, forgot to bring chairs. But
couldn't we find something for you?
we probably could have, but
You
everybody was
gotta ask.
busy. People were busy too. Some of the vendors that were there, in fact, I tried a lot of the food, but I was really happy with the Jolly Jalapeno. I ended up bringing some stuff home for the missus, and maybe a little too spicy for me, but she really liked it.
Yeah, they've got a good following, so and they're good folks.
All the vendors that were there, I'm sure they had a good time. Are you going to maybe plan another one of these for this year, or is it done for the year?
I think we're done for the year for Fair Food. I mean, but it's a good time to mention that we're always trying to keep a food truck in the parking lot. So, it's kind of hard to do because they have other commitments.
Sure.
And they, Skip is there from Skip's Gourmet Grub. He does a great job. But if he gets a more lucrative invite, like to an auction or something, of course he's going to go. That's business. So
And people that are working, a lot of them have their routines, what they do for lunch, but it's nice to stop at a food truck once in a while and go, you know what, let's do something a little different today.
Yep.
You had the big alligator event in Rugby. I was hoping you guys were going to do one in Grand Forks this year, but from Swamp People, Bruce was there with his wife, Mrs. Janet.
I hadn't been to. He's done several of ours before, and I hadn't been able to go to those ones. But he's such a great guy. I'll tell you, got to visit with him. I mean, real down to earth. I mean, he's out there kind of greeting the customers. Whatever. His wife is back there. She jumps in and helps make the food and stuff, get it out there.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have to.
And they're both incredibly nice people.
Oh, he couldn't be nicer.
So how did the town of Rugby take to the alligator?
It was real good. I mean, we got a good crowd. We did it in the evening, so we're trying to have a few more, working people or whatever. Usually we have them at lunchtime, and you get a lot of people there. So I don't know. Every town's different, but it was really the talk of the town. I mean,
Yeah. And I noticed because I was in the store here in Grand Forks during that time, and everybody I was looking for, they were gone. They were all in Rugby. It's like, no, they're helping over in Rugby today. So it's good that your staff can do that and go
Yeah.
from store to store and help out.
Oh, we got a good crew. But, one thing that really helped in rugby is that the Rugby Chamber of Commerce, I mean, they volunteered, chipped in, and they came in there and they had kind of a little offering jar or whatever. And, but it was a real positive, really helped us out. So
How was the weather up there for that?
it was warm, but it was good. So we've
just
had
wondered
really
how-
good luck on the weather at all these.
I was wondering how Bruce feels when he's wearing those big denim overalls and it's in the 90s and he's around a Traeger smoker.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, he cooked the jambalaya on the propane camp chef stove.
Yep.
So he did that himself. But I mean, this is nothing for him. And what he said is that he drinks a lot of water. And it goes through him. He says he drinks that much water back home, and he doesn't pee all day.
Yeah,
So.
well, I suppose it's a little bit warmer down in that neck of the woods.
and humid. So
Yeah. Last night, I know I drove by and a bunch of people outside, farmer's market.
Yep.
How is that going?
it's going pretty good. We got some real good vendors that are there, and they're selling made goods. Yesterday I was there. I bought some pork chops because my dad had some pork chops from there, and he said they were the best he ever had. And so I bought from the grass-fed guy that's been there pretty regularly. Then I bought some caramel rolls, and then there's a couple kids that were serving slushies, so I had to get a shaved ice thing. So it was good.
Are you starting to find more produce now? I mean, it's getting to be about that time where things are starting to get ready to eat. How is that going? I haven't had a vegetable garden for years, so I don't know what's ready or not.
Nope, the produce guys haven't. The produce hasn't been ready, so we haven't seen that, and we're hoping that'll really grow the event or whatever. I did want to say though that if we're always willing. It doesn't have to just be the farmers market. We're trying to create event on Wednesdays afternoons and build up a traffic. But anybody that has produce or whatever, they're pretty much welcome to come to the parking lot and sell any day that works for them. We just kind of want a little heads up on
Sure.
it. Call the store manager, Alan, and just to keep track of who's here and stuff.
And you guys, if I understand this right, you don't charge these people to come to the farmer's market and set up, do you?
Nope. Our theory on that, and it goes for the food trucks, is that we feel they're helping us out by coming there. And so why would we charge for it?
Okay. Right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And everybody's happy that way, too.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure what this means. What goes on Thursdays from 2 to 7? Or is that something I should just not? It would be a number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Yeah. People that show up at the farmer's market, are any of these people that were at the Fair Food Extravaganza too? Can we find any of the food trucks? Do they show up for these things?
Well, the Jolly Japolino people, they have some items there that are there. That's the only one that I know of. The ones that were there last night were the Jolly Japolinos, Szymanski Farms. That's the grass-fed beef guy.
That's where you got your, okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to make those tonight on the Traeger.
Oh,
Then Two Sisters Bagels, Due North Bakery and Goods, Stover Kids Veggies, which they didn't have veggies yet, but and Wiccan Scents. So
you guys had, this is one thing that I haven't got to see yet. And I just knew what was going on. I had no idea, but I could see the tractors coming in that morning by my house, the antique tractors. So I was thinking to myself, you know what? I hadn't been on social media in a few days. I thought, bet you Home of Economy is having their tractor pull.
we have the annual tractor pull. It's the Joe Perkowitz Memorial, who he was a great guy, and he did a big part of that, building that up. And he worked at the store many years ago. I got a picture of him. If you knew him, he had a ZZ Top beard or whatever. I got a picture on the wall with a bunch of other employees upstairs that no beard at all. So
Yeah.
But anyway, he was a great guy. But every year we have the tractor pull where they're doing the antique tractors. It's a lot of fun. I didn't get to it this year because it was up at the lake. But
How many tractors were there this year?
there was over 100 of them.
Wow. Now, do you guys do this old school where they just pull like the sled and people hop on as they're going down, or is it one of those weighted sleds like you see on TV?
It's a weighted sled, and
Okay.
so it's it's real safe, and it's you're not dealing with the supercharged engines. You're dealing with the low compression engines
Right.
and everything. So you're able to get up close to it and watch it. It's just the old 50s and older machinery. It's the stuff that when I was on the farm in the early 80s, we were still using some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see the farm all tractors and
Yeah,
there's some guys with the old John Deere 2 cylinders, like my neighbor Don Duffner. I mean, he's
Yep.
usually there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know his daughter Teresa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's really cool when you get to see the really old ones. Believe it or not, people, wheels on tractors used to be made out of steel, not rubber.
Yeah, those aren't used in the pole, but I mean, usually they have some of that stuff. So must have been a rough ride in the field.
Oh gosh, I couldn't imagine, because even back when I used to farm, and I was in a 4-wheel drive, big versatile, and I still thought
Some people
you
luxury.
almost had to wear a kidney belt then, and that was pretty luxurious
Yeah.
for farming.
Yeah, we had an old Caterpillar tractor that only one of the turning brakes worked. So when I was ditching the field, I had to turn this right all the time.
Oh, take a little bit longer to do some ditching that way, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You guys have got some new things going on too at Home of Economy. You're bringing in new products. You guys do this all the time because you listen to what the people want.
Yeah.
And I would imagine you heard this enough, but people said, you know what, you need some more things in here. I mean, because you guys already carry a lot of hunting and fishing gear, a lot of supplies, but people wanted more waterfowl hunting stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us what you've added there at Home of Economy.
Well, we've added quite a bit. It's a new run for us. They're just setting it up. Not everything's in yet, but it's kind of something to check out. But we got a full line of greenhead gear. We've got we got decoys, duck and geese decoys. We have the Avery waders for the waterfowl guys. So we're going big into the waterfowl. We've had some deer stuff before, clothing, and a bunch of the accessories like the blind bags, the gun cases, and the decoy bags. We got some of the field blinds, where you can throw them in the back of your pickup and kind of stack them up and throw them out there. So,
and I would imagine that's going to be a big seller. I mean, goose hunting is awfully big in North Dakota.
yeah, well,
Now, will all the stores carry this new waterfall gear, or do you just kind of judge it by what each store is asking for and what the people are telling them?
we got in most of the stores. We don't have it in the Grafton store, and then we didn't put it in Williston and Watford. I guess the waterfall isn't going that far out there, is my understanding, and I'm sure there's people that tell me I'm wrong, and because I usually am, but
Well, not usually.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes.
sometimes.
And I've said this for years. I'm at Home of Economy all the time, but I buy the majority of my pet food there. Now, here's how it goes at my house. Right now, I'm down to this winter. I went from 6 rescue animals down to 4. I've got 3 rescue cats and a rescue dog. Now, my cats all have issues. One's got hairballs. One's allergic to whatever and chews all the hair off his legs. He just looks funny as heck from the knees down. He's like bald. And I got another one that's got vertigo.
Oh,
And
and a cat?
in a cat. Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually not uncommon.
Really?
I know a couple of people with cats that have vertigo, but so the cat, when it gets a bad bout, will get sick. I mean, it's just like if you get dizzy and you throw up or whatever. But the one thing I like at Home of Economy is your variety. You go through the cat food, the dog food, whatever. And whatever your dog is, whether he's older dog, a smaller dog, a sensitive stomach, all of this stuff, you guys pretty much carry everything for
Yep.
pets, and not just dogs and cats either.
Yeah. Well, and we're using some of the specialty dog food too from the Science Diet. Sensitive stomach. We got some older dogs, and they were losing weight. I think their teeth are kind of
Yep.
going out on them. So, and they were kind of sensitive stomach. So we're feeding them some canned food every day, and they're like the one dog is starting to put weight back on. So that's a good thing. And
Yeah.
they're doing a little better. Hopefully, extend some of their lifetime with us because
And, not just dogs and cats, like I mentioned, but you guys also carry feed and things for livestock too, don't you?
Yep. Yeah, we got the horse stuff, and we have the crack corn for chickens or whoever you want to do it. Horse food.
I used to actually buy bags of the cracked corn in the winter, and I would throw them out when Woody had a bad winter, there was a lot of snow. I would throw it out in buckets for the deer in my backyard, and you should see them devour that. They don't even tip over the bucket. They leave you a completely empty bucket that's full of deer hair, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah, they like it.
Yeah. Well, we go through a lot of the deer corn, which is a specialized product, and we get a good price on it and pass it on to the customer. So we've been selling a lot of that in the last few years.
Yeah, just don't tell anybody that lives on the Greenway, right? This is something that I think is so cool that Home of Economy is doing. The Crookston Classic Cruise Night. Tell us about
tonight.
that. Okay.
Yeah, the Crookston Car Club, they came to us and they're always looking for, to do a drive, and they asked us to kind of host them. So they're coming tonight. I think they're supposed to be about 15 cars. They like to show off, they do all this work and get the cars beautiful, and then they like to drive them. They like to show them off.
Sure.
So it's great. I'm hoping it's success because it'd be great to have them back every year. We always like to have events like that.
And the thing is with hot rods, some of these cars are treated like part of the family.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, they don't want you touching their car. They're very, very careful with their car. But the fact that they will drive them from Crookston to come to Grand Forks to hang out at Home of Economy, they really want to show them off.
Oh, yeah.
And what time is that? And can people just kind of go hang out and look at the cars and talk to the people that own them and find out more?
I'm sure that's why they're there. They're going to be there 6:30 to 8, so it's just part of their event. But
okay, so
they wanted us to invite people there for that reason.
So they'll be there actually from 6:30 to 8, and then maybe they take a little cruise and then head back home. Or yeah. I know a lot of those guys from Crookston, and there are some nice cars in the Crookston area. Okay. These guys, they know how to build their cars around there.
Yeah.
Another thing, you guys put on so many events. Like I said, there's always something fun going on at Home of Economy. How do you think up all this stuff?
Well, we're just always looking, and you kind of do some brainstorming. You come up with a stupid idea, and that leads into a good idea. You're joking around, and
And are there any ideas that you guys have kicked around the table, and you just finally went, no, we can't do that?
The biggest problem right now is just like all the businesses are struggling to find workers, and that's created a real issue on wanting to do some of the things. And you can't do, it's hard to do a big gator party, very often because it takes so much work.
Sure, and work is people.
Yeah.
And you can only stretch your employees so thin.
Yep. And, we wanted to do more, before the pandemic, we were doing more small events and demonstrations on the Traeger, but it's tough to, all the rules on how we have to serve food. And we always followed, if you don't charge, you're not required to follow the health department rules, but we follow them anyway.
Right. Sure.
Just out of doing the right thing. So,
every time that we talk, it seems like we do talk about Traeger grills. Yeah. And this is one thing, I think this is just a brilliant marketing idea, having that Traeger going in front of the doors. And it's so funny because the first few times I'd go in right away and, Alan, what are you cooking out there today? And there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, how come it smells so good? He goes, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, just smoke, and you get the right kind of pellets, and you get the right, you can smell that, and starts going.
My brother-in-law, the funny story, bought the new Traeger, the big one. We actually drove all the way to to Thief River on Saturday because he was doing a brisket on the Traeger, and now he won't leave me alone because he keeps telling me, you've got to get this. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And my sister-in-law loves it because she's not really doing much cooking anymore because he's doing it all out on the deck, on the Traeger. But how are the Traeger grills selling this year? Because, more and more people are finding out about them, and more people are buying them.
Yep. No, they're still selling good. I mean, last year was a spike year because people weren't eating out and people were doing, but everybody likes them. I had a cousin in-law that bought one. He starts telling me all the stuff he was cooking. I'm going, geez, you're putting put me to shame, first weekend.
I thought that'd be pretty tough to do with you guys.
But last weekend, my mom had a get together with all her cousins, and she asked me to do a turkey. So I brined it, spatchcocked it, cooked it. Then I did a salmon fillet alongside of it,
Ooh.
and they were all real happy with that. And that's stuff that I never did before the Traeger. I mean, I didn't cook a turkey. I mean, I made nachos and
Right.
heated up soup. So
Have you done the chocolate chip cookies yet?
no, I haven't, because if I make cookies, they're all gone. Right
Oh
away,
yeah,
so.
yeah. As soon as you can pull them off.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite flavor of wood pellet, or do you? Is it a variety for you depending on what you're cooking?
I don't have a sophisticated palate for smoke flavors or whatever. You can tell there's a difference, but I can't really tell. I did like the oak pellets, but that wasn't real popular, and the Traeger discontinued those. So now I'm using hickory and cherry, and I like those. So
I actually, and I've done this before too. I had an apple tree die a few years back, so I got a chipper and kind of made my own. But I have a friend in Fargo that had a smaller maple tree die in his yard, so he went and bought a chipper just so he could chip the whole tree. And he put it in 55-gallon drums, and all he does with it is use it in a smoker.
okay,
I guess that's one way to get around it.
yeah.
Every time I go into Home of Economy, I'm not an impulse buyer. I usually know what I'm going to buy when I walk in, but it never fails. Every time I walk into the store, I see something that catches my eye, like, I should probably get that. I didn't think about it, but I probably should. What's the one product at Home of Economy that you probably don't know you need until it's too late?
Well, I have an example. I was talking to my brother about a mechanical problem I had with the boat, and he started talking about the DeWalt jump starter that he got. And what you do is it takes your regular tool batteries, you put that on there.
Oh,
And so you always have it charged up, so you're not having to worry about that. So, and I was looking at that this morning. I'm going, and not only that, it'll charge a USB.
Oh.
So if you were going somewhere without power, you could charge it on there and do some other things. But I mean, that'd be nice. I live on a farm, and you got all these small engines, and if the four-wheeler's not starting, and you don't have to drag that out. So I was seriously looking at that, and maybe next time I get some birthday money or something, I
And now
save it for that.
Does that just take like the 20-volt battery
you
that
put
you'd
the
find in your
20-volt
drill or your driver or anything?
Yeah.
Wow,
I mean, I doubt it'll start my old diesel pickup, but
Right.
then the nice jumpers didn't do that. You had to, get a vehicle, but
No, but what you said is perfect because, like me, the lawnmowers, four-wheeler, motorcycle,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
right, we both live rural, so
And that's a funny story because my motorcycle's been sitting in my garage. I took it out once last year. I haven't been out yet this year. So I thought, you know what? It was about 2 weeks ago. I'm going to fire it up, bring it out in the driveway, clean it up, and go for a spin. The battery was dead.
Well, of course.
And so I just left it. I didn't put the charger on it or anything, but if I would have had one of those DeWalt chargers, I probably would have, and I'd probably be driving it to work, but
yeah.
it's the way it goes.
Yep. So that really looked like a neat little deal.
Are you a DeWalt guy?
Yeah, it's DeWalt or it's Milwaukee. The Milwaukee's really coming in. They make great tools and everything. But I started buying the DeWalt, right? And I could see the 20-volt was going to be the thing. And so I started buying that stuff. So now, with power tools now, you don't just buy, you can't mix and match because the batteries don't.
Right.
So, so I'm stuck in the DeWalt thing because I own, quite a few batteries. So.
Yeah. It's I hear you there.
But I've got all of it, and the drivers and the string trimmers, and boy, is that slick. I got a 20-volt string trimmer for the house, and it was doing that. And this week,
my neighbor's got the chainsaw,
Yeah.
and then he's got the pole saw connector for it too. But I'm amazed at how much that thing will cut before it goes through a battery. Great example, I was building a bar in my basement, and I was using a slab of black oak.
Wow.
And He cut, the thing was 2.5, almost 2.5 inches thick, 2 inches thick. He cut the whole square out, and it's a rectangle. Mm-hmm. We had to change the battery with about maybe 8 inches to go through that entire cut. And then that thing did not falter. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Is there anything now since the pandemic? Well, hopefully it's getting past us, but you still hear it. Some things are hard to get. Is there the one product or two products that people are asking you a lot about, and you just say, well, it's a little tough right now, or is it getting better?
It's getting better. I noticed that the ammunition was a little bit better. For example, the lawnmowers came in late this year, but we've had a credible selection between the Cub Cadet, the Troy-Bilt, and then the Honda for push mowers that make a great push mower. Plus the battery-powered stuff from Steel and DeWalt. So,
Have you been doing a lot of mowing this year? Because I sure haven't.
no, I've been doing quite a bit. We, live out in the farm, but I went out last night with the tractor to do some of the old pasture. We used to have horses, and I didn't have to do much.
No, it's just kind of hit and miss. I'm actually running sprinklers in my yard now for the first time, I think, ever.
Yeah, I'm trying to got a new house there that brought it in last year, so I'm trying to get just one area about 5,000 square feet in the yard, trying to get the grass nice up front.
Yep.
And boy, that's been
oh gosh, I know. And that's kind of how I look at it too, is wherever I can see my yard through the windows or off my deck is what I really worry about. The back, my backyard was a driving range at a golf course, so I don't really care about what that looks like anyway. It's just full of deer and coyotes.
Cool.
Any big things coming up at Home of Economy that you're planning on now?
Well, right now we're getting ready for the state fair in Minot. That's coming up. I think it's next week.
Okay.
And we're going to have the Traeger people there again to kind of have a booth in one of the buildings there. So,
is that usually a pretty big deal for you guys as far as the Traegers being sold at the state fair?
Yeah, that's they send up some factory guys that are real good at doing that sort of stuff, and they've put a lot of stuff out there. Now we don't know what'll happen with the fair. It was canceled last year, of course, and then the Canadian border. I think a lot of our friends up north were coming down, so that's supposed to get decided again. I think it's
soon.
The 21st, so I hope they do. But
yeah, that's kind of funny because we actually have two Canadians on our show after this one today, and they both made it, so that's good. Wow. Basically, what it boils down to again, Wade, is there's always something fun happening at Home of Economy. Yeah. Always.
Yeah. And we were just thinking, this morning about Hoos Fest is canceled this year, and we used to have a great. We used to have a great hands-on booth where we'd teach people how to make lefse. So we have all the equipment and everything. So we're thinking maybe we'll have a lefse making event in the stores.
And I know this for a fact because I bought my lefse making gear at Home of Economy. So you guys take care of the Norwegians too, don't you?
Yeah.
It's funny because the nieces and nephews all wanted to make lefse when they were younger. So we went and bought all the stuff. And same with dumplings, potato dumplings. But then you go through all the work to make them one time, and it's funny, most of them never came back.
Oh, they'll still eat it, won't they?
Oh, yeah, of course they're going to eat it. Oh, man. You guys, thanks for coming in again today.
Yeah, well, thanks. It's been fun.
And have fun at the lake.
Yep.
And have a good remainder of the summer, and we'll catch you guys soon.
Okay.
All right, there you go. Wade Pearson from Home of Economy. Love talking about Home of Economy, man, my favorite store. And there you go, your Home of Economy podcast. And we'll be hooking up with one of the Pearson boys. We'll just wait and see which one on our next one. Thanks, everybody, for watching. It's your Home of Economy podcast on GFBS.